Kasama natin ngayon si Mike Madrigal, na kilala rin bilang the walking death ng Filipino pro wrestling. Magandang umaga and welcome to PTV Sports.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us this morning.
Yes, tipitin mo. Intimidated ka ba?
Hindi, parang kayang-kaya ko lumaban dyan.
Yun.
Dapat pagdating dito sa sports, kailangan lagi kang palaban.
Yes.
Oo, kaya si
Lalaban
Sir
ka,
palaban.
wrestler
Oo.
yun eh.
Anong, ilang taong ka na sa field na to?
Since 2017.
2017?
Yes,
Parang
I've been
hindi,
wrestling.
parang ang tagal-tagal na niya sa pagka-veteran ng itsura
Oo,
niya.
di ba?
Oo.
Talagang nandun yung build. But tell
Yes.
us, paano mo ba na-discover yung wrestling and bakit nagustuhan mo to?
Nag-start po siya nung pinakita sa akin ng cousin ko, yung pro wrestling which is the WWF sa States that time.
Okay.
And then, naengganyo po ako dun sa action, sa spectacle, sa entrances nila. So from there, I've been following it up to now.
Okay. Other people would see kasi na pag wrestling talagang it's a very a different kind of sport. Talagang kailangan you should really exert effort.
Yes.
Are there
Exactly.
any misconceptions na gusto natin tanggalin when it comes to wrestling?
Hindi naman sa misconception, pero yung misunderstanding that
Okay,
we're trying to
misunderstanding.
fake it. Which
Right.
is, yes, it is a scripted sport, but at the same time, when you're bumping in the ring, masakit din po talaga pag binabalibag ka sa ring.
Okay.
So I think we're not trying to fool anyone, we're trying to entertain the people. And it's just like watching any other show, like when you watch Game of Thrones and
Okay.
stuff like that. It's not fake, but then it's just trying to give the story.
Actually, na-mention niya yung WWF and growing up, talagang pinapanood ko yung WWF.
Okay, kumusta?
If you're, okay naman.
Sa akin-
Akala ko din nung umpisa, it's real. Hindi
Oo.
siya entertainment. I thought na talagang violent siya. Yan sila Hulk Hogan, Bushwhackers,
Okay.
Shawn Michaels. But it's now nga na-discover natin na meron siyang halong entertainment. But at the same time, talaga naman puspusa ng training when it
Yes.
comes to wrestling, right?
Yes.
So now tell us about dito sa Filipino Pro Wrestling. What is this organization?
So this organization was started 2022.
Okay.
It consists of mga veteran wrestlers who came from PWR na nag-disband during the pandemic. And right now, we're trying to build a new roster to help out the veterans of the game. We're trying to correct all yung mga wrongs na nagawa ng management of PWR before. So that's why we call it the Filipino Pro Wrestling. We want to emphasize yung professionalism.
And on the 3 years na kayo ay nag-exist dito, what are the accomplishments so far, yung mga milestone na nagkaroon sa inyong organization?
I think so far yung pinaka nakikita namin na changes, growing na po yung audience namin
Okay.
compared to when we started back 2022.
And how was the reception from the audience?
At the start po, like any other casual fan, parang nahihiya pa po sila to cheer
Okay.
and to chant and everything. Pero ngayon, feel mo na yung energy ng crowd when you're performing. So, I think that's a very good accomplishment.
Actually, totoo yan eh. Very high energy yung mga audience ng mga wrestling community. But you know, there's a lot of mga wrestling organization dito sa Pilipinas. Ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng PFW?
FPW, I think ang pinagkaiba namin is the production value. If you see our episodic YouTube episodes, makikita nyo po yung production value niya is way higher than any other Filipino pro wrestling na organization.
Okay, I want to see the art sa part na to. Kasi
Okay.
usually it's all about the sports, the endurance. But you're also talking about it's a scripted kind of
Yes.
sport. But I want to know, how do you make art from it?
Yes.
Bakit dapat siya maging
I
art?
love
can
that
see
question.
it eh.
I love that question. Kasi I love saying this din sa mga tao na pro wrestling lang po yung art na pwede ka mag-ingay. And yung result ng pag-iingay mo, magre-react yung wrestlers na nagpo-perform sa ring.
Okay.
Hindi po katulad when you watch plays, you're supposed to be quiet and just watch. When you're watching a movie, you're supposed to be quiet and just watch. Pero sa pro wrestling, when you start cheering for a certain wrestler, mag-change yung outcome sa match. Kumbaga, pag ginugulpin po yung good guy, once they start chanting, the good guy gets to come back.
Okay.
Because of the energy of the crowd.
Kumbaga na-e-enganyo kayo dun
Yes.
sa yung reaction ng
Yes,
crowd.
that's why nasabi nyo nga, sobrang wild ng crowd. Kasi alam nila na when they say or do something, or when they chant something, nagre-react yung wrestlers performing in the ring.
Alam mo, teammate, bawat wrestler meron silang moniker or nickname.
Okay.
And for Mike, it's the Walking Death. Kwento naman mo na sa amin, what is the story behind dito sa Pangalan
Walking
muna, The
Dead.
Walking Dead.
To be honest, ano lang po kasi, by that time when I started pro wrestling, I watched The Walking Dead, which is the series. And then, nag-isip lang ako ng maangas na moniker. And that's when the bookers, tinanong ko naman sila, or the promoters, tinanong ko, ano bang maganda moniker? Okay ba tong The Walking Dead? And they think it's okay naman po. So up to now, yun pa rin yung gamit ko.
Okay, anong masasabi ng mga tao kapag nakita ka, uy, yan na si
The Walking Dead.
Ano ang dapat abangan pag nakita natin si The Walking Dead?
High impact moves po talaga. Moves that will make you think na ay, hindi natatayo tong kalaban niya.
Alam mo, parang gusto ko mag-sample kami ng moves na yan. Baka pwede
Ano yun? Gusto mo ng sample?
Oo, kunyari pag nakita ko siya tapos magkatapatan kaming dalawa. Pwede bang, may ganun ba? Pwede bang ganon, direct?
Ay,
May ganun
direct, paano ba yan? Gusto ng sample? Gusto
Tumayo
yata
tuloy ako
ng
bigla, nawala yung ulo ko, pasensya na. Oo. Pero yung, hindi na, tsaka na, mamaya na lang, after ng programa natin, tsaka gawin natin move na. Well,
Pero masaya din, no?
oo, why not? Actually, gusto mo may exam ka na.
Baka naman, ako na lang yung referee. Ang gabi ko
correct.
naman sa inyo, no?
We're in the Women Empowerment, Happy Women's Month.
So
diba?
sige,
Kaya ng
sige.
lalaki, kaya ng babae.
Oh, so
Diba?
2 against 1.
Okay, pwede. Tayong dalawa tapos versus sir. Kaya mo ba? Of
Kaya
course,
din.
kung The Walking Dead ka, ano magiging pangalan mo?
The Walking Princess.
The
Ang corny.
Pwede The Disney Princess. Ako meron na rin ako.
Ano?
Professor You Can't Be.
Professor, you can't be.
Oo.
Parang hindi naman nakakatakot.
Hindi, kasi babigyan kita ng research. Kapag bigla mo uminom ng ganyan, ako sa sulat ako dadaan.
Tatakbo ako niyan, research
Research, oo. Sige. Pero ito, gusto natin malaman, yung sa inaugural champ of FPW and the longest reign as FPW champion, Salas Marbates.
So yes, I'm the longest world champion sa
Okay.
Philippines, which is 546 days. It was my first world championship na napanalunan, and I was beaten by my idol who also performs in Japan and the States, who is Jeff Cobb.
Si Jeff Cobb, oo nga.
And how does it feel like you handling this title?
For me, nung una, hindi pa sa akin nagsisink in. Then it sunk in nung, I had to carry all the main events, I had to carry all the media.
Mabigat, oo.
Yes, kasi ikaw yung face ng promotion eh. Hindi, it's a responsibility. Hindi lang siya para mapagyabang mo na championship. May responsibility talaga na malaki.
Pero paano mo na-sustain yung pagiging dominant mo dito sa Filipino Pro Wrestling?
I think it's the consistency of my matches. Talagang if you watch the main events, it all lahat naman it met expectations and more. So I think that's what made the promoters have them makip ko yung championship ko.
Speaking of consistencies, edi yung iba pag nakikita ka parang galit din sa'yo. Kasi, there's
Yun
something
din.
in it eh.
Sila rin
Oo.
mismo tiwala sila sa akin being the champion.
Ayun.
Yun yung maganda sa FPW.
Tiwala, may tiwala.
Dapat, may tiwala talaga. Diba, ikaw ba sir, may tiwala ka ba sa lahat ng tao sa paligid mo?
Ay, oo naman.
Ba't ikaw ba may trust
Pasensya na,
issues?
hindi ko mahiwalay si Rise and Shine Pilipinas yung pagiging showbiz reporter ko dito sa
Oo nga
sports,
eh.
diba?
Oo, nagiging personal tayo.
Of course. So, pero kasi dapat in order for us to understand the person bukod sa kanyang craft, ay nakakibat nun yung kanyang kultura at personal na buhay.
Oh, lalim
Yan.
yan.
Totoo.
Kultura at personal na buhay. Kultura at personal na buhay. But then, ito, balik tayo sa
Okay,
wrestling.
yes.
Magkakaroon ba? Can we expect a rematch? With Jeff Cobb?
That is what I am hoping for. That is what we are fighting for this March 23rd sa FPW Astig. We are trying to determine sino ba talaga ang number 1 contender. And I think it should be me because he just beat me, and automatic in pro wrestling may rematch clause po eh. So automatic if you're the champion, they beat you, you get a rematch dun sa reigning champion. And I don't know, for some reason, our promoter, Red Oliero, he doesn't like me to be champion. He doesn't want me being champion. So let's see kung what happens on March 23rd.
Okay, tell us more about this FPW Astig, which you mentioned will be on March 23. Anong dapat abangan?
Abangan natin yung una-una, paano ba natin ma-decide kung sino yung number 1 contender, kasi hindi pa namin alam nga hanggang ngayon floating pa rin siya. And then matches like Duke Ortega versus Cali Nueva, we'll see more of the stories being developed.
Okay.
Ay, interesting yan I mean, kaabang-abang.
Oo naman.
Itong kanilang magiging rematch. But then, of course, I'm sure na buong buhay mo nakalaan sa pagta-training dito sa wrestling. Pero what is life outside wrestling?
Actually, I'm a shipyard manager for our company. So, yun yung talagang pinagkakaabalan ko outside of wrestling.
Ayun. Pero before wrestling, anong sports?
I used to be a cheerleader for Saint Benilde. And then, Muay Thai. I used to be an amateur fighter for Muay Thai. Yun po.
Pero talagang wrestling na till the end.
Yes, ever since I started pro wrestling, hanggang ngayon yun pa rin yung sport.
Yun na
ko.
talaga.
Yes.
Oo.
Pero partner, no, naging cheerleader siya.
Yes.
Cheer dancer. Ano yung pagkakaiba? Or may similarities ba with cheer
Actually,
dance?
yun nga, nakatulong sa akin kasi nga pag nagli-lifting po kayo, pag nagpi-pyramids or stunts, yung timing is there tsaka yung technique kung paano magbuhat ng tao nandun. Hindi ka basta-basta babrasuhin mo lang You're gonna use your body weight. Kaya yun, nag-carry over din talaga siya sa pro wrestling. Pati po yung pagsalo. Kasi kunyari, tatalunan ka po from the top rope, para ka rin nag-toss ng cheerleader. So, very same po. Very similar.
So, hindi nalayo, no? Pagdating na sa wrestling kasi yung endurance din na kailangan
Yes.
ibigay doon.
Tsaka yung upper body strength, di ba? Pag nagbubuhat ka, pag nagli-lift ka ng
Yes.
mga cheer dancers.
Yes, opo.
So may similarities talaga.
Oo. So, well, you also mentioned Muay Thai. So, how did you do your Muay Thai activity before proceeding to wrestling?
So, I used to work out sa Elorde po. And then
Okay.
meron sila mga amateur, amateur tournaments or amateur exhibitions na I joined to keep me in shape. Then, na-carry over ko din siya sa pro wrestling because yung striking, you have to make it look real
Okay.
So, na-carry over ko din siya how to make it look real at the same time, make it look safe.
Ayun.
I think number one sa wrestling is safety. Yun
Okay.
yung talagang number one na tinitrain
Important.
nyo. Yeah. So finally, meron ka bang mga mensahe, shout-outs, or message sa ating mga viewers? And please do invite them sa March 23.
Yes. Again, please watch FPW Astig sa March 23 sa Bake Studios. And please follow our socials sa @PhilPro Wrestling. Kung gusto niyo po makita yung ibang matches namin, meron na pong mga nakapost sa YouTube ng FPW Astig. Yun na po. Thank you.
Once again, nakasama natin ngayon si Mike Madrigal, ang The Walking Dead ng Filipino Pro Wrestling.
Maraming salamat
Thank you,
and
thank
thank you na napaunlakan mo ang aming panayam this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.